Look, when we talk about AIs, we're not talking about some sci-fi movie that's decades away. We're talking about the AI that is already here right now, silently rewiring everything from your inbox to the global balance of power. It's moving so much faster than anyone predicted, and honestly, it's time we all got a handle on what's really going on.
Okay, so how do we tackle a topic this huge? Well, here's our game plan. We're going to start with the AI that's already in your life, maybe even in your pocket. Then we'll zoom out to the massive bets and the huge ethical tests facing big tech. After that, we'll dive into the wild debate on superintelligence, look at the global race for AI dominance, and we'll wrap up by looking at where this stuff is already making a life or death difference, right now.
So, first up, the tech you're probably already using, maybe without even giving it a second thought. We're talking about the AI that's being woven into the very fabric of your digital life. And, nobody's pushing this harder than Google with its AI Gemini. So, let me ask you, where did you run into AI today? I bet the answer is way more places than you'd guess. See, it's not just the chatbot you play around with anymore. It's becoming this invisible, ambient layer that's quietly reshaping our entire digital world.
Okay, so what's wild here is just how everywhere this is. I mean, just look at this list. Gemini is being stitched into pretty much the whole Google ecosystem. We're talking about it summarizing that crazy email thread you've been avoiding in Gmail, or digesting a 50-page report for you in Google Docs. Or how about this? Being your conversational co-pilot in Google Maps, finding a coffee shop and adding it to your route, all while you're driving, hands-free. It's even in your Nest Cam, giving you actually useful alerts like a package was delivered instead of just, motion detected.
And this all points to a really key idea, the context-enabled assistant. This is kind of the holy grail for these companies. An assistant that actually knows what's going on in your life. It knows you have a flight because it saw the confirmation in your email, so it can warn you about traffic. But here's the massive trade-off, the catch. To get that convenience, you have to let it see your personal data. Google knows this is a huge hurdle, so they're making it strictly opt-in. They're basically trying to earn our trust one permission click at a time.
Right, so this push for AI everywhere isn't just about cool new features. It's a high-stakes race between the tech giants, and they are making some massive bets and taking on some massive risks.
Just take a look at Meta. They are planning to invest $600 billion in U.S. data centers by 2028. Just let that number sink in for a second. That's not just an investment. That's an all-in bet. Mark Zuckerberg is essentially betting the entire future of the company on a world that runs on AI, from personal assistants all the way to superintelligence.
But, and this is a huge but, here's the other side of that coin. A leaked internal document projected that Meta could bring in around $16 billion this year just from scam ads and banned goods. Now, Meta's response is that this number is overly inclusive, but you can't ignore the fundamental tension this reveals right at the heart of the company.
And this slide just lays it all out perfectly, right? On the one hand, you have Meta building the literal infrastructure for this powerful AI future, even fine-tuning its next big model, Llama 4, to be politically neutral. But on the other hand, they're still struggling to police the platform they have today. It's this incredible balancing act, racing to build tomorrow while trying to fix today. Because if they lose our trust now, what good are all those billions they're spending on the future?
So, all of this ambition, all this money, it naturally leads to the biggest and maybe the most intimidating question of all. What happens when these things get smarter than us? Let's zoom way out and get into the intense debate over superintelligence.
Let's kick things off with a dose of realism from AI expert Andrej Karpathy. His whole take is that, yeah, the progress is mind-blowing, but the hype has gotten way ahead of the actual tech. He says we're maybe in the middle innings and that true artificial general intelligence, or AGI, is still years, maybe even a decade away. He points out that these models are incredible at spotting patterns, but they still really struggle with basic stuff like logical reasoning and long-term memory.
But of course, his view is just one piece of the puzzle. This table really helps break down the three big schools of thought right now. So you've got Karpathy, the realist, who's focused on the tech hurdles we still haven't cleared. Then you have the folks at OpenAI, whose own leaders are raising the alarm about potential catastrophic risks. And finally, you've got people like Microsoft's Mustafa Suleyman pushing for a humanist AI, one that's built from the ground up to be controllable by us. What's fascinating is that they all land on, we need to be cautious, but they get there for totally different reasons.
Now you've got to remember, this whole AI race isn't just a Silicon Valley thing, not even close. It is a full-blown global competition, and China has a very different and, frankly, very effective playbook. Okay, so a huge piece of China's strategy comes down to open models versus closed models. Think of it this way.
On the right, you have companies like OpenAI and Google who keep their AI under lock and key. It's proprietary. But on the left, you see what Chinese labs are doing, releasing powerful open-source models like Alibaba's Qwen. And this is a huge deal. Why? Because it's a total game changer for startups. It's way cheaper and faster for them to build on an open model. Get this, some US startups are now choosing to build on these Chinese models because they're just faster and cheaper. It creates this super fast cycle of innovation that's really hard to compete with.
And look, this isn't just a theory. This strategy is paying off in a big way. Just check out these numbers. In the third quarter, China's sectors that are tied to AI saw insane earnings growth compared to the year before. Media shot up 57%, electronics 41%, and computers 34%. This shows you that their state-backed plan is turning all that tech innovation into actual measurable economic growth.
All right, so we've covered the big ideas, the corporate chess moves, the global race. Now let's ground all of this and look at where AI is moving past being an experiment and becoming essential infrastructure that's already impacting our lives.
This right here, this is one of those moments where you can see the world changing in real time. During the most recent Atlantic hurricane season, an AI model from Google's DeepMind consistently produced the most accurate storm forecasts. It flat out beat every single traditional model that we have relied on for decades. And we're not talking about a small improvement. The difference is staggering. For just one storm, Hurricane Melissa, the old US model was off by more than 500 miles 5 days out. The AI nailed it. Just stop and think about what that means for a second. For evacuation orders, for getting emergency supplies in place, we're talking about saving lives. The impact is absolutely profound.
And hey, it's not just the weather. In the world of finance, it's completely changing how huge companies track their money, which helps prevent fraud. In healthcare, it's doing everything from helping doctors avoid medical errors to creating personalized care plans if you're dealing with a chronic disease. For creative professionals, tools like Adobe Firefly are being built right into Photoshop, and in cybersecurity, it might be the only thing fast enough to protect the millions of smart devices in our homes. The impact is already here.
Okay, so let's tie this all together. What are the big things to remember? Number one, ambient AI is here. It's that invisible layer in the tools you use every single day. 2. Ambition versus trust. Big tech is betting billions on the future while struggling with integrity today. 3. The conversation is changing. It's not just about how powerful can we make it, but how powerful and safe can we make it. 4. This is a global game now. And 5, and maybe most important, the impact is now. This isn't science fiction. AI is already changing industries and saving lives.
Which leaves us with one final, really important thought. AI is rewriting our world. There's no doubt about that. The question is, are we, as a society, writing the rules for it fast enough? Because if there's one thing we know for sure, it's that this train is not slowing down. Thanks for diving in with us on this explainer.